Can you beat Alien Isolation with only the wrench? Okay, so technically it's a maintenance jack, but that doesn't really roll off the tongue for a title. And I mean, come on, there's a wrench on one end. For the people who aren't familiar with Alien Isolation, the jack is our starting weapon, and it's absolutely useless against the xenomorph, and then a really bad idea against mostly every other enemy in the game. Unlike all the other weapons that we hopefully won't have to use at all. In theory, we'll only be jacking it. Medkits are obviously fair game though, since they're not a weapon. But as an extra challenge, we're gonna see how long I can go without healing. The jack being less than ideal is especially true on the game's hardest difficulty, Nightmare. So of course, we'll be playing on that. And that's about all you need to know for now. We'll cover anything else as it comes up, which means we can get started. Alien Isolation is split into 19 missions, and the first one is just walking around and story stuff, where we meet some people who definitely won't be dying later. Just so you know, a lot of these missions, especially in the first half of this run, mostly play out how they would normally, just with a lot more hiding since our other options are severely limited, going jack only. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on some of these. There will be a much bigger focus on the parts where going jack only is incredibly scuffed. For those of you that want or need the story TLDR, we're Amanda Ripley going to Sevastopol Station for the Weyland-Yutani Corporation in search of our dear missing mother Ellen Ripley. Shockingly, things go bad immediately, and we're stranded on the station. Mission 2 is entirely a tutorial. The most important thing here is that this is where we get our hands on our beloved maintenance jack.
I think I need this more than you do.
The way this thing works is super complicated. You have to press left click to swing it, and then sometimes you have to do a QuickTime event with it to open doors. Welcome to the rest of our life. After that, we meet Axel, who takes us through some more tutorial stuff, and once that's over, so is his life, courtesy of the xenomorph.
What have I got on me?
Mission 3 is where things get rolling. Our objective here is to get to Seegson Communications, and I died almost immediately.
Stay back!
Shit!
Oh, you didn't even give me an option!
Guys,
I've been...
over here!
I
Someone's
just...
here!
Not like this, bro.
An intruder!
Close. No! Jesus! Okay, well there's the first death. It's been a handful of years since I've played Alien, so there was a lot of trial and error. If you're interested in seeing every trial and every error, the entire run will be up on the VOD channel eventually. Oh, I was reading chat! This whole bit plays out as it would in a normal run, since our only options are jacking everyone here, running and hiding, or more dying. And while jacking the other humans to death is mostly viable, jacking everything we see all the time is really not a recipe for success. Some enemies can't be jacked, other enemies will hurt us if we try to jack them, and some aren't even worth trying to jack at all. Oh! Oh! I've been told I fall into that last category. Anyways, we get the revolver in this mission, and as far as I know, you have to pick it up to get the key next to it. This happens with a couple weapons where you have to pick them up to progress, like the stun baton and the flamethrower. I mean, there might be ways to skip grabbing them, but since we can simply choose not to use them, it doesn't really affect the run one way or the other. The only other exciting thing here is that the xenomorph is out on the prowl now. It's always nicer to watch it when it's not after us. Damn, are they okay? Mission 4 has us head down to comms control, and this is where we get to meet our first working Joe.
Forget it. I'll find my own way in.
What? Did that guy just get the zoomies? It seemed like he was getting really stoked to fucking murder me there. I've never seen one do that. We're gonna pretend these guys aren't important for a second and talk about the motion tracker we just picked up. On Nightmare, this thing is busted, as in it doesn't work, not like busted OP. The screen is all fucked up, but at least the objective marker still points us to where we need to go. Okay, back to the Joes. Who would have guessed that they're hostile? Oh no.
Oh my god.
Me and who? Joes are 100% never worth fighting, until we have to later. And I mean have to. It's a whole ordeal. Not only do they take a load of jacks to kill on Nightmare, but if we don't get the drop on them, they'll just grab the jack mid-swing and beat the shit out of us. It's a bad time. After a lot of crouch walking and hiding in lockers, we press the buttons the game wants us to press, and then we're called over to the Psymed area by our pals. But not before two guys have a mental breakdown at the sight of us. Hey guys.
Support services and Gemini exoplanet
They're twins!
solutions.
What? What? Guys? Mission 5 has got to be one of my least favorite parts of the game. We're on the hunt for meds for our buddy Taylor, who got injured at the end of Mission 1. And I just feel like the Xenomorph is way too glued to our ass for this entire part. Across all my playthroughs over the years, to me it feels like the alien's leash to us here is insanely tight. It will just not leave us alone. Why do I always... No, 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 no! Why did I think that was gonna work? It doesn't seem to matter where we go or if it even has any idea of where we are, it will always be right on our tail. Are you fucking joking me? Oh my god! Thought he was gonna run around the other side. So with the alien being up in my shit, I spent a lot of time in lockers hoping for it to bugger off. Yeah, big dog's right there. Okay. Let's do the lock. No, I pressed E by... I think I shit myself. A problem I did not think of is that if you hold your breath for too long while in any of the lockers, you will take damage, and the health you lose will not come back when you catch your breath. Not that we can even see our health bar in Nightmare mode. So I accidentally asthma'd myself down to 1 health, which is a problem for later me. I won't be healing until I really have to, since the Xenomorph is gonna one-hit me regardless. Besides getting the stun baton out of a jammed door at the start of Mission 6, this is more of the same. Run and hide, and die. Oh shit, I just walked right under that vent.
Let's not be too hasty.
Okay.
Shoot if I have to.
Yeah. Do not shoot. What? I'm high.
Force me to do this.
I forced you to do what?
I didn't want to do this.
That guy was looking for a reason to fucking shoot me. We do end up getting the meds for Taylor though, and when we're on our way back to her, we get cornered by the alien and this whole ass room explodes. That means Mission 7 is about taking a bit of a detour to get back to the tram station with the meds. Overall, there was less hiding, but about the same amount of dying. Can we warn these guys? Hey, don't kill me. Can we be friends?
Did anyone else hear something?
Jesus! Did anyone hear something proceeds to shoot me in the brain? Also, I think we had some humans bug out on us towards the end. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember these two shooting at me in previous playthroughs. Here they've kind of just froze up entirely, besides sometimes talking with a dead look in their eyes. Honestly, this is kind of reminding me of a lot of first dates. Mission 8 has us make our way to the Colonial Marshal Bureau, and this is where I hit a mini roadblock, mostly because I was still refusing to heal my burnt out asthma lungs. The long short of this is that we're trapped in a smallish room with a working Joe who's on patrol. All the while, we have to cut a panel open with a gas torch to escape. We had a heart attack! No! If we stop the cutting to run, we have to start from scratch, and it's not a quick process. If I gave up on the no healing shenanigans here, I'm sure we could have tried to slug it out. But I really didn't want to concede that this early. Instead, I spent like an hour trying to outcut this guy's patrol path, which eventually worked, but it was tight. Oh my god, hurry. Please. 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 Please! Ripley! Get in! Oh! Where was he? Oh my god. Once we get to the Marshall Bureau, it's flashback walking sim time for Mission 9. We're in the POV of Marlowe, the dude who accidentally caused all the alien shenanigans on the station, and I'm not too sure there's anything we can screw up here. Not that I tried. Mission 10 would normally be a huge turning point in a normal playthrough because this is where you'd get your hands on the flamethrower. But for us, it just sits in our inventory, forever mocking us. On the flip side, this is also the mission where we for sure take out this xenomorph and never have to worry about it ever again. It's another one where things play out normally, but slower and less fiery. At least until we're launched into space with the alien, and then we can just dip out via airlock. Now we may as well call the game Working Joe Companionship, because these fuckers aren't leaving us alone for the next few missions. Things get harder almost immediately at the start of Mission 11. We've got to get back to the Bureau, and there's a bit of a war going on between what's left of the humans and the Joes. It's best just to wait to let the Joes get on the guys with the guns, and then just hoof it past all of them. The trickiest part of this whole mess is the Joe near the Bureau doors. He can be pretty sketchy to kite in this tight of an area. Maybe he'd have been less tricky if I healed and could take a hit, but oh well, still not healing. When I started this run, there was one part in particular that I dreaded, and it just so happens that it's the Working Joe showroom here in Mission 12. For context, we're tracking down our android pal Samuels, seen here absolutely slaughtering this Joe.
I don't have time for this.
God, I wish that were me. To get to Samuel's, we need to get through the aforementioned showroom, which is actually kind of easy because we can run right on through. We'll just ignore that all the Joes woke up because the door out of here locks behind us. Though, it turns out the next door we need to get through is also locked, and one of the showroom Joes has the key. I've no idea which Joe specifically has it, and honestly, it doesn't really matter, because once we double back after looting a bunch of stuff I can't even use, they all break in at the same time, which means we're gonna have to kill all of them. And even if I were to cave in and finally heal here, we cannot just slug it out with these guys head on. There's 8 of them, so I'm pretty sure that would be impossible. There's also only like 2 places to reliably hide here, and hiding does nothing for us. They just split up between the rooms, then we're at a stalemate until we decide it's time to die. One thing we can do though is blast them with fire from an environmental trap, and I think this is the only hazard like this in the game that we can actually control. You'll have to let me know on that. Regardless, while being lit on fire does hurt these guys, it will not kill them. At least not with a single blast. They actually don't even really give a shit that they're on fire. They'll extinguish themselves and carry on. So I spent a lot of time here trying a whole bunch of shit in hopes that the jacking wouldn't have to come to an end. And it was looking pretty grim. Please don't look under here. What? Wait, what? 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 Did he just kick me in the head? What the fuck was that? At least it was until on a whim I kept flicking the fire on and off because I kept hearing the ignite sound effect you get when one of these nerds gets lit on fire. And that ended up fucking obliterating all 8 of them. What if I mash it? Do you guys think it just keeps applying burn over and over? Wait, that worked? Also, rest in peace, Samuels. The most interesting part of Mission 13 is that it takes all of our guns away. Not that that really makes any difference to us. You also get them right back in the next mission anyways. There's very conveniently 2 guns here, just not our flamethrower, huh? Why is it like that? That's kind of, I don't know. And boy oh boy would I have loved to be able to use guns in Mission 14 because it sends us down into the reactor, where things go from Working Joe companionship into facehugger, surprise you're pregnant. Yeah, it turns out there's a big old nest in here, so xenomorphs are back on the menu. But facehuggers are the true villains of the rest of the run. Pretty much once you hear these guys squeal, they're on whole patrol. And unfortunately, if they get into kissing range, it's over for us. What? Unless we hit them with a wrench first. The problem with that is we take damage from meleeing them, and since we're on 1 HP, that will instantly kill us. Okay. Melee is not an option. I cannot hit one of those. Trying to kite them around the area doesn't really do the trick either, because we need to press some buttons, and they will be 12 inches down our throat as soon as we try anything of the sort. Oh my god, did I just swing my mouth down onto its fucking... I don't know what to call it. It was really looking like we finally had to heal here until I pulled an Outlast, meaning I got into a locker, not that I had my dick sawed off. I kind of assumed that the facehugger would just camp us until we popped out of the locker, but it turns out it straight up despawned, which was a surprise, to say the least. It was the same deal with every other facehugger down here, making this part very doable, and saving me from having to pop that first heal. Did that one despawn? Where do they go when you hide? What is going on with the facehuggers, man? The last thing we have to do before we can be done with this mission is cause a bit of a reactor meltdown. The way we do that is by kiting the 6 working Joes around these catwalks so they don't kill us during mini-games. It took some luck to get all the Joes on the right side of the reactor in the first place, because if they're on either side of us and aggroed, it's pretty much a guaranteed death. That's not to mention all the other Joes that spawn in once we've got all the buttons pressed. Mission 15 is a breeze by comparison. That Marlowe guy from earlier wants to blow his ship up to take out the station and the aliens. While that's 100% the right call, we have to stop him by pressing some buttons, and then Taylor dies. Mission 16 isn't that bad either. We've got to get comms working, and while there's some dudes in riot gear now, they're not an issue. I've got a thirst for blood! Fuck you, buddy! Unfortunately, Mission 17 is where our no-heal streak comes to an end for real. There's a room that we have to get access to, and as soon as we do, boom, throat goat. Oh, fuck! There's nowhere to hide to despawn it, and there's nowhere to kite it to. I even got out of the area, loading screen and all, came back, and it was still there. No! I tried for a while and just had no other option but to heal and then pop it with a wrench. If I didn't blow my lungs out in those lockers back in Mission 5 and hid literally anywhere else, I could get past this fucker without healing. It's definitely possible. The rest of this mission has a very aggro xenomorph on us, but it's business as usual otherwise. Mission 18 is the last level of the game. Kind of. There's a Mission 19, but it's essentially just a shitty QuickTime event. All we've got to do here is get the fuck off the station and onto the ship that dropped us off at the very start of the game. Once we throw the suit on, we're good to go. It's really that easy. Just kidding, instead we get abducted into a run-ending situation. We wake up glued to the wall of a nest that we promptly break off of, and then it's time for a horde of facehuggers. Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh no. But these initial ones aren't the issue. Okay, to be fair, they were for a bit. We've got to handle 2 at once here, and if you try and melee one, the other one will get you. Kiting them back doesn't do much either, and for a while, I thought I was screwed. By complete accident, I found out that they can get stuck on this one egg on the left side of the hallway. Oh my god, holy shit, what? Oh my god. Open. Oh, please, God, open. No! Then all we have to do is run away and hope they only get free one at a time. And yeah, if I hadn't healed earlier, we would have definitely had to heal here to kill these guys. But I still think no heal is possible, I just obviously goofed it. Right after that though, it's game over for the run. No jokes, no bits, it's dead. We've got to crawl through some wreckage, and about halfway through, a facehugger spawns in front of us, and there's actually nothing we can do within the confines of the Jack-only run to stop it. There's no way to get out of here, and you can't bait it out prior to crawling in. I tried everything I could think of. There's nothing. The worst part is that you can use every weapon but the Jack while you're crawling. I guess that means hypothetically, if you were out of every single resource and only had your Jack, you'd be soft-locked. Well, being out of options, I conceded the run here and had to stun baton the facehugger. Gotta hit this guy with the old spark plug. Or I could just miss, that's fine. Fuck you. You little freak. Ew. And you know what's kind of fucked up? About 5 minutes later, it got worse. There's another crawling bit with the exact same problems, this time inside a vent, but with 2 facehuggers. The only difference here is that we can get out of the vent before we get a mouthful, but we can't melee the facehuggers from outside either. So this time, I burnt them. What the hell? Did I stand up for a second? You might be thinking I could pull a melee only if I use the stun baton again. And yeah, absolutely, but I didn't have any other charges for it since I wasn't really looting guys. So it's another thing that would definitely be possible. To add insult to injury, 15 minutes later, we're done the game. We do that QuickTime event in Mission 19 that may as well have been a cutscene, and it's over. We were blue-balled right at the finish line. So, you cannot beat Alien Isolation with only the maintenance jack. At least legitimately. Maybe there's an out of bounds or something, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing legit. I gotta say, the ending of this run left me feeling pretty empty, but I guess I'm overall happy we got as far as we did with just the jack. The Xenomorph really didn't pose any threat out of the ordinary, it was all the Joes and the facehuggers in this one. But I think that's enough Alien Isolation for me. At least until the sequel. Surely we can jack our way through that one. If you enjoyed this run, let me know in the comments. Or you can always leave a like, they both help. And if you want to catch these runs live, you can find me over at twitch.tv/anxiety. Thanks for watching.